everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the All Lightsaber Podcast.
That's right. Today we'll be constructing our own lightsabers. Very first ones. We're going to have to focus all of our energy into this, so it's going to be a fairly silent podcast. All right, let's get started. Do you think that this might be boring for them?
Well, without video, I think it might be boring. I mean, using the Force and communing with kyber crystals, it is a silent work.
We have a camera right beside us.
Yeah, maybe another time.
Okay.
No,
Book again.
This is the Reread Podcast. We are still in Vector Prime. We are going into Chapter 9, The Honor of Dying, here today. And yeah, we got a lot. This is a reasonably large chapter. I do have to apologize to everybody, though. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts and just issues getting together over the weekend, we were not able to get the podcast out at our normal time, which is 6 a.m. Monday morning. So this will be coming out. This is Tuesday, so it'll be coming out Wednesday morning, and then we'll be back to the regular scheduled programming, I believe. But yeah, just kind of a missed plans this past weekend, so it didn't quite work out. But we usually try and be pretty diligent about it, but we failed. So I'm just gonna go fall on my lightsaber real quick here, guys.
Good. One less Jedi to kill.
Oh man, it was your plan all along.
I was there from the beginning.
From the beginning. All right, so yeah, let's move into a little Jedi Council. So how's it going this week?
Pretty good. Had the last couple days off. Doing a lot of work, actually, around the house. The only reason I couldn't come yesterday, I had some doctor's appointments and all the fun stuff. Not really a day off when you think about it.
No, they don't. Past a certain age, they don't really wind up being days off anymore.
It's not just all, yeah, party. Do nothing. Don't be responsible.
Yep.
Sleep in till noon. No, not anymore.
No, not at all. Yeah, obviously, it wasn't last week, but week before last I was sick. I still have sort of a lingering cough, which usually happens whenever I get sick. So if you hear me slosh around a throat lozenge right now, that's the reason why. I don't want to sit here and hack into the mic the whole time. I didn't get any sleep last night. My neck is out. And have you ever had a dream where you were actually more exhausted from the dream than like physical activity?
Yeah. Just wake up and you're just like you can barely lift your head up, and you're for some reason sweating. Yeah.
So Dave's dream journal. Last night I had this odd dream where I was in like a sporting arena. It was a giant circle with UFC cage walls around it.
Okay.
And we were avoiding these giant bouncing, they were like rocks, like perfectly round spheres, but they were hard. And they were just bouncing all over the place. So it was like a game of avoid being crushed.
Were there Chinese announcers? Was this Spike TV?
I didn't really think about it at the time, but yeah, I guess that's kind of as close as it would be. But I don't know. I woke up several times. It's like you wake up and then you lapse back into the same dream. That doesn't always happen, but that happened. And I was like rolling around the damn bed. I had the covers all over the place. I wonder if that's what finally put the tiny nail in the neck coffin. My back's been killing me for a while, but I'm one of those manly men who refuse to go to a chiropractor, despite the fact that's really stupid. I just need to make an appointment. But yeah, getting up this morning was not fun. I considered calling off, but I didn't. I went through with it. My boss is like, "Well, you don't look too good this morning." It's like, no, I don't really feel too good this morning. Thanks.
You've had that compliment thrown your way, what, a total of 5 times in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's really been kind of a crappy couple weeks, So that was just kind of that. Aside from that, just work and coming home and doing home stuff.
Well, I'm finally getting back to my crazy early schedule. I woke up at about 4:30 this morning, only hit snooze once, so I'm running on very little sleep, but it's the only way to get back into that schedule is punishment.
Well, yeah, I'm up every morning about 4:45. You got me by about 15 minutes. I mean, the first alarm goes off at 4:30, but I like to have it where I have that alarm, so I'm awake, but I know that I have 15 more minutes. So it's like an encouragement. It's like a little present in the morning, you know? Like, oh, yeah, I got to get up, but I have 15 more minutes.
I get greedy with mine, and I'll just be like, I'm making a new alarm for 15 minutes, and I do that 20 times, and I've tried everything. I set it across the room where I have to get up.
Yeah.
And I'll do anything in my power to make it. What I need to do is put my lights on a timer in my room because that wakes me up instantly. If my light's on, I can't go back to sleep again.
You can get those little timer modules out there, but yeah, I know it was. That's usually around when I get up as well, and just wasn't. Whew, just what really wasn't the thing to do this morning on a Tuesday, and still have the rest of the week to go, and then actually have a wedding you said to go to this weekend.
Yeah.
So we're doing double duty tonight. We're gonna try and do 2 of these,
Triple.
so we can triple duty. Yeah, because we're also gonna do another episode of the Dinner with Patreon. Excuse me, dinner with the patrons.
Either one, guys. I mean, if you want to be a Patreon.
I kind of hate that because they're called patrons, but the site is called Patreon. So, and I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, thanks, Patreons," and it's like they're patrons on Patreon. But anyway,
it sounds fancy though. It sounds like something from like Star Trek or Game of Thrones. Thank you, Patreons.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, we're also doing another dinner with the patrons to put on Patreon. So yeah, if you'd like to possibly support the channel, support the boys here, you can head on over to patreon.com/the Contingency Plan Podcast. And we have a few tiers on there. We're going to build it up as time goes by, but we're just kind of waiting in the water there. And obviously, we're just going to continue to do the podcast. This is now, this would be episode 10. Right? So we've done 10 of these crappy episodes.
Well, on YouTube, we've done 10. On the rest, it would be... we did upload the intro on everything, so it is 10 across the board.
No, not on YouTube.
But they're just not all there on YouTube.
Yeah, because
they're technically all recorded for YouTube.
Problems with the transfer over. But anyway...
you just need to, copy and paste from... Somehow take your recording from... And I'm probably going to sound very stupid here, but from Podbean and just somehow make a video out of that without doing any work on YouTube.
I mean, I'm sure there's definitely a way, but
the upload's going to be janky because you're going to have 1 through 3 and then 9 and then 8 and 7 and 6.
I mean, you guys know where to catch these. We're on all the major networks now. We recently got on Spotify last week. That was officially put through. So yeah, we're pretty much on everywhere at this point. But yeah, if you'd like to support us again, patreon.com is a good place to go. You can also check us out on Facebook. Hit the old like button on that. Austin pretty much runs that. But get some memes, get some news, get a little bit of whatever we want to put on there. But if you have any questions or theories that maybe you'd like us to discuss during Jedi Council with Holonet, it's a good place to let us know of them. Just send us a message. He'll get back to you. Or you can hit up the email, tcplanpodcast@gmail.com, and it will get your theories or comments or questions or whatever on the old podcast.
Facebook has been rough lately. My main source for Star Wars memes has been going a little edgy lately.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what I mean because I send them to you every time. All the ones that I can't post. He's part of this group where their whole goal on Facebook is just to get banned from Facebook from being offensive. And unfortunately, he started using Star Wars in that. And
it's too bad.
Yeah, I just can't. They're good. They're all really good.
Yeah,
I just don't want to offend people.
Want to keep it a little family friendly, I guess. I mean,
in this world of cutting people's arms off constantly.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well,
Violence
originals really did love cutting people's arms off.
Well, violence in movies has always been a thing. You know, the funny thing is, so on Netflix, they put The Breakfast Club on there. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
So actually like a lot of those John Hughes movies. We grew up with very 80s parents. So I was watching, 16 what was it all? It was 16 Candles, St. Elmo's Fire, Breakfast Club. I feel like there was
That was the main three, but there was
another one, wasn't there, that was big? I can't remember.
Was Ferris Bueller one of his movies?
No, well, I don't.
Okay.
It wasn't a part of that particular like Brat Pack type of deal. But anyway, I was watching that it popped up. I was like, I'll watch that because I'm a sucker for a redhead and old Molly Ringwald. But anyway, the funny thing is like you go back and watch a lot of those, the language in those things and how edgy they were, because that was a pretty edgy movie when you think about it. It's just a lot different than what we see nowadays in cinema.
Oh, you said 16 Candles? Right?
No, The Breakfast Club.
Right, but of the three.
Yeah, The Breakfast Club, 16
I think
Candles.
they did Pretty in Pink.
St. Elmo's. Pretty in Pink.
Pretty
that
in
was the
Pink.
other one I was
Yeah.
thinking about. Yeah. There we go. See?
The only reason I remember that is because on the way here I was listening to that Bowling for Soup song, 1985.
Oh my God! Yeah,
and they
there's some
referenced
nostalgia.
they referenced his movie.
I'll be darned.
And it was Pretty in Pink. Yeah.
So anyway, the whole scene has changed a lot, but I think we probably ought to move on to a little holonet here. We do have a long chapter to get through, a lot of interesting stuff. So you pulled an article here about a game, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a lean week for news. Everything's a lot of speculation.
All the speculation's only beginning.
And I don't really want to do a bunch of speculation because I hate speculation. It's boring. It's useless. And we talk to each other about that. We don't need to talk to you guys about that. I want concrete stuff, man. So apparently EA, because they haven't made enough Star Wars games, is making a new IP for Star Wars. And it's just been unveiled at E3. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, this is, again, it's not going to be a lot of information, guys, but new IP from them. It's actually from Titanfall developer Respawn Entertainment, which apparently EA bought out. I have no idea. I don't follow that stuff.
I try not to follow EA at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of EA personally, but you can't deny they do make some AAA games.
Big company.
Yeah, and they buy a lot of companies out, so.
Yeah.
So we got Jedi Fallen Order, made by Titanfall.
The Fallen Order.
Yeah, interesting. And it is going to be centered around, of course, by the title, Force users. It's not another military shooter style game or an RPG.
We already have that.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some good saber combat again. And they actually, it's kind of a weird way to put it because, so making of the Star Wars podcast host, I don't know that podcast.
I'm not. It doesn't ring a bell. I'm sure some people are like shouting, "I know that podcast," but yeah, it doesn't ring a bell for me.
So the host Jason Ward recently received some inside intel.
Inside intel.
Which again, I hate that kind of language, that jargon. But anyway, from his sources, if they're to be believed, it'll be similar to 2008 Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, which was, I don't know, did you play that game?
A little bit.
I thought it was a pretty good game. It had a really kind of cool backstory on Vader's apprentice, and the gameplay was fun. You know, it was about what I want out of a lightsaber-based combat Star Wars game. Usually go for more of the shooter style like Battlefront back in PlayStation days growing up. I didn't really get into KOTOR.
Like PS2 days.
Right. Really old days. But I didn't really get into KOTOR or Jedi Apprentice, I think was the other big one.
I only remember now I can't remember, but the Old Republic game. Knights
of
of the
Old
Republic.
Yeah, KOTOR. Yeah, that's just the abbreviation
and
for
then,
it. Yeah.
I don't do abbreviations.
I understand.
I'm
Our audience does, trust me.
I'm sure they do. And then, what was the other one for PC? That I actually bought.
It had Republic in the name, too. It wasn't Knights of the Old Republic. It was Star Wars The Old Republic.
Maybe. Okay.
I think.
I just remember that they had it on the Apple Store for it was $2.99. There were 3 games that they released out, and this has been probably 4 or 6 months ago, and they were all like $2.99 a piece. And me and my buddies did a little pseudo LAN party, and it was the conquest. You had both sides. You had the
Yep.
And then you
Conquest
fought.
style. You can't see each other's
you
screens.
had the markers and
Yep.
I had a lot. It was the first time I ever played. I actually hadn't played it up to that point. And the horrible thing is, me and my buddy Mike, if only I would have known what I was doing more, we actually had the entire thing won. Because I had made so many AT-ATs, so I just had this Cadillac fleet of AT-ATs just driving through everything they had.
Yeah.
And if we would have just pushed a little further, and if I would have understood some of the powers of the Emperor in that game, you could turn opposing forces, machines against them. But I didn't know how.
Nice. Yeah.
So I was just sending them to lightsaber them to death, And he's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I don't know. What do you want me to do?" Press this button. It's like, "Oh, you didn't know?" It's like, "How am I supposed to know? It was the first time I played the game." But anyway,
it's not like games have those kind of tutorials like they used to, where they hold your hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, we would have won, but then we started to fall back a bit. And my buddy Ez, who's really good at this game, he sent Obi-Wan on a solo mission just in the outline of the map, and he went and just started solo. Obi-Wan just started attacking all of our base. So we fell back to the base not really knowing what was happening, and old Obi-Wan was just, hacking and slashing, and then they were just
somehow destroying your entire base with a lightsaber.
And they were just building up forces at their base. They wound up we were probably playing for about 5 hours. It was like 4 or 5 hours, this whole battle. So
was
a lot
this
of fun.
Old Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan?
No, old Ben. Just slowly walking around with his lightsaber, swinging around, just hacking at stuff.
With
It's
great
good.
New Hope choreography.
Yeah.
I can't show you guys it, but you know
what that lightsaber fight was. But yeah, anyway, that should be interesting. New game. I think you had said that this was so during the E3 conference there was that I don't remember his name, but he was there and they were trying to accost him.
Yeah, and they would not talk about it.
So you got a new Star Wars game? It's coming out soon. It's like, yeah. I mean, it will maybe next year or something.
The year after next, not this coming year, not this year.
And of course, I showed you the E3 dub from those Djibouti dubs guys.
Yeah, that was great.
They've been on YouTube for 10 years. It's one of my favorite channels. They started off dubbing infomercials, Billy Mays and Anthony Sullivan. Now they're doing the Kathy Mitchell Red Copper stuff, but yeah, they dub over E3 every year, and that was actually pretty funny because for those of you who watched E3, PlayStation, they were ridiculous this year.
They were like that South Park episode where they took a wine glass, they farted into it, and then they sniffed their own farts. That was about the PlayStation.
It was a huge
Last of Us was
ego
stupid.
stroke.
Oh
yeah, well,
God.
The Last of Us, they had this guy who walked out and he played a banjo for a while, and it was actually long. And then the other one, I don't remember the game, but this guy comes out with one of those little Japanese flute things, and he's apparently world renowned for playing this instrument, but the musical renditions were just so long and cringy.
That one was kind of cool though. He wasn't
terrible. No, he played
just
really
way too long.
He played really well. It was just way too long. That was the problem. But yeah, Sony Xbox, the guy just comes out. Here's a game. See you later.
Yeah.
Sony tried to make it this whole product. The Last of Us, they held it in a church. And it's just why?
Banjo Church.
Yeah, banjo church. Because that makes me think Last of Us so much. But anyway, yeah. So a new Star Wars game should be pretty fun. How do you think it'll do? Because honestly, the last big Star Wars release was Battlefront 2, and
just now actually getting popular.
Well, the thing is that when it came out, people bought it, but there was there was a huge pay to play component, which
It was the worst pay to play.
it was bad. I didn't pay for anything. I just played. I don't really care about getting the best of the best. I just I play and I have fun. But a lot of people, I got to get the best stuff and all this unlockables. And then eventually EA kind of listened because people were pissed. And they got rid of loot crates. They got rid of
Thank God.
the pay to play anything. But the problem is they took away characters too. So because I think they got rid of Sidious here recently, which was odd.
Well, now they're coming up with like seasons, and this is a season for Han Solo, right?
Yep.
Because of the movie and everything.
So they got young Han and young Lando's characters. Some of the maps are amazing. Like the Galactic Assault maps are really, really cool. I play a lot of Blast, which is just is that 10 on 10 or 8 on 8? It's shorter squad based type of deal, but it's in a smaller map, so you have to really go out and there's no real objective aside from just kill everybody. It's just like your
team deathmatch,
battle royal or deathmatch. But I love the Galactic Assault is really neat too, just because if you like the objective based things. But I mean,
if we get a story based game, which that's what I'm craving because I'm tired of multiplayer games.
Well, I mean, the thing is Battlefront has a story mode, and I think they actually did add on to it. And the story mode's actually really good, and a lot of people really enjoyed the story mode. But the whole thing about Battlefront is you want to play these big maps, you want to get that multiplayer component. But yeah, they really haven't had like a story-based games are actually kind of not quite in vogue right now.
No, we got Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out, and that's literally it.
Yeah,
that's all we have. They're even taking. You're not a fan of it. I don't know how many people on our podcast are, but Fallout's always been a really big story-based game.
I never said I wasn't a fan of it. I just said it's basically Skyrim, so I'd rather just play Skyrim.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so imagine if you took Skyrim and all the story and they just stripped it all and made it multiplayer. It's like, there's no NPCs, no quests anymore. You just do what you want.
See, I don't want
That's
that.
what they're doing with all the story-based games.
Fallout 77 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's literally just going to be, you can make bases and explore with your friends, but there are no NPCs to talk to.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, I know that that is the way things are going.
Which is why I don't play Xbox
get your
all that much anymore.
Backpack kid dance animation and away you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we grew up with actual like story driven games.
Like remember Revenge of the Sith tie-in movie game that we had?
Yep.
That actually was kind of cool because they had a couple of extra chapters that were like alternate reality where Anakin kills Obi-Wan and Sidious and rules on his own. It kind of ends there, but I don't know.
True.
They actually followed the story and you had a little bit of RPG elements.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, for sure.
But those games are pretty much dying out. So hopefully this one
they'll die out for now. They'll be back because people get tired of the crap. What's that stupid one? The Fortnite
Battle Royale. Call of Duty's doing it.
No,
now
I mean
too.
Fortnite.
Well,
the game that sort of
Battle Royale game.
Overwatch.
Like PUBG
PUBG.
Call of Duty's doing that.
PUBG
now.
when it came out, I actually thought looked pretty promising, but now I'm not so sure.
It still doesn't work. I finally downloaded version 1. The actual full game, it still doesn't work.
Listen, PUBG has been basically a beta for years.
Yep.
I mean, you can stretch back to games like H1Z1, which was effectively the same thing.
Yeah.
And none of those games ever really got out of that alpha or beta stage, and it's just weird.
And you pay for it anyway, so why would they? You've already paid for the game. Why do they need to finish it?
Well,
in their opinions.
It would be great if they finished it. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop on out here and start on our reread. Again, we are in Chapter 9, The Honor of Dying. And this was like I was saying, this is a little bit longer of a chapter than what we've had. We've had a lot of table setting.
I was looking forward to this chapter because we need some meat. I'm tired of the apps.
Yeah, we've had a lot of starch, and now we need some protein. So this is where we're at. Okay, so we start with a little expedition party.
X-Gal Expedition.
X-Gal Expedition.
I was trying to combine those words, and I just knew there was no way to do it.
No, say that 5 times fast. They did get Danny's call about the storm. And so, being scientists and idiots, they decide, let's just go out and look at it.
Yeah.
Be cool, guys.
Storms are safe.
So, who do we all have here? We have
Garth Brees.
Yeah, and Benson Tomry.
Ubo.
Yeah, and Luther Dayono.
A rugged man.
And one more.
Mid-20s.
One more. So Ben
Katmir.
Doty, Ballo Reese. So we have a couple of people here. I don't remember hearing about this Ben Doty guy. Did we hear that name yet?
No. Well, they've probably named him, but not really talked about him.
He's 53, former Barnstormer search and destroy agent with the Rebel Alliance. So he's actually more of a soldier.
Yeah.
But an older, well, I mean, they say 53 like it's so old. Anyway, so they're out here basically on sort of an expedition to figure out basically the severity of the storm and possibly what's going on.
They're out there to get themselves killed and entertain us.
Oh, we had one more, the Dream.
Yeah,
Cadmir.
I
Did
think
you
I
say
said
that
his
name?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
if it
Sorry.
picked up in the audio, but yeah, I said that.
I can't hear.
It's all right. You're talking to me, remember.
Yeah, it's true.
It might be a family trait.
Yeah, I think it is. So they're heading through the jungle. They're basically, this is not a quick trip either because they're kind of concerned about the night coming on them. The old red-crested cougars.
The night hunters.
Oh, let's see here. We did have a little bit of an argument. I think it was old Tiobo who wanted to use the jetpacks and just kind of jetpack around.
But they don't have a lot of fuel, guys.
Yeah, fuel. Of course, this was in 99, so they're talking about fuel in 99. Just not in the movies.
But technically, fuel's not canon. Oh, wait.
It is now.
Never mind. I forgot about that movie.
It is now. Okay. Oh, no, it was Tiobo who was like saying, don't use the jetpacks. We want to go ground and then use them later.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's see here.
But either way, you're going to use up the fuel, and one way back's going to be really long. So, I mean,
true enough.
The logic didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's like, if we use it now, we won't have it for later. It's like, if you use it later, you won't have it for now. So what's the difference?
Bring more fuel, guys. Come on.
It's like, either way, you're going to be walking a lot, so.
For sure. So they're doing a little tree hopping here. And then they start to encounter a dense fog.
A foggy fog.
Rotten egg
foggy.
smell. A noxious rotten egg smell. And they instantly, Ben Doty here, get the Enviro suits. So obviously this is not something you'd want to be in. So they're getting in their suits to attempt to combat.
Gloves too.
I believe, yeah, gloves too. No skin exposed until we know what it is. And they're feeling it. Eyes are burning, sickening stench still in her mouth.
And they wake up to this, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that.
Is that what? Did they wake up to it?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think they wake up to one of them coughing and hacking. I think it's Teubo.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I know that they were just talking about like being up in trees and I don't know, who knows.
It's probably just a volcano.
Yeah, that's true. So they're thinking there is a volcano on the planet, which is interesting. So they need to
Or
go.
they're just guessing it's a volcano. Who knows?
So they
don't really
need to
say.
go and bring the idol and throw it into the volcano.
Exactly. No. Wrong franchise. Wrong franchise.
Sorry, crossing streams. Anyway, but yeah, old Luther, he was saying probably a volcano, and obviously an active volcano will spew up some pretty noxious stuff.
Yeah.
But let's see here. They basically they're saying the Exgal station can pretty much withstand anything. And then here's Jiren. He said it's not a volcano, it's the tree. So he's holding this leaf. It's the tree. Is it a forest tree? No, it's not a forest tree. Oh, let's see here. So they're all taking turns sniffing this leaf. Real scientific, by the way.
Yeah. Analyzing with my nose.
With the old sniffer.
Which, by the way, they're in an enviro suit, so how well are they really smelling things?
I'm interested in that. But it is still night. Luther does ask how long the sunrise. 2 more hours. So they're basically sitting tight here waiting for the sun to come up. Exploding brilliantly over the eastern horizon, they grew even more alarmed. For all the forest about them seemed to be on fire, sending greenish-orange smoke up into the air, and all the green leaves had turned yellow.
It's just fall season, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, instant fall. No, but the whole thing is like Danny had for like months been noticing the sunsets being a little bit tinged with different colors.
Yep.
And this is it's a plan.
So why did our resident Yuzon Vong put the beetles so far away? Is there a reason for the timing on it?
Well,
because I don't think it's really mentioned.
We get a little bit. Longer in the chapter here. This is basically a bioweapon.
Yeah.
The Yuzon Vong use bioweapons to great effect, and we'll see that a lot later. Well, we've already seen it. The disease that is affecting Mara. They live for the living organisms and so forth, so that they're very in touch with the living side of things in their culture. So bioweapons are just, it's just something that they use. So this is basically a bioweapon, although our scientists don't really know quite yet.
It's just interesting because I know the beetles were close to the station, so I just wonder why it hasn't hit them yet. But maybe it's not a timer.
Yeah,
a biological timer.
Exactly. Oh, let's see here. So, what do they have here? Kind of
skipping to the next page here. I don't know where that would be.
Well, they had collected a couple samples. Yeah. The trees are changing color and they're smoking. Basically, at this point, they're kind of freaking out. Let's get out of here. They want to start getting out of here. And see, now this is where I'm going to kind of pick apart a little bit here. So now we get into the subject of oxygen. So let's think about this just for a bit. So they put in they went into their suits the prior day. So conceivably they've been in these suits at least 8 to 10 hours.
Correct.
Possibly, right?
Yep. Used a lot of oxygen up.
Well, okay, but let's talk about this a little bit. So we're in it was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
With spaceships.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, these guys are way more technologically advanced, but they still have oxygen tanks like we do when we're going diving. You would think that they'd have something that would take the carbon dioxide that we're breathing out and somehow transform it back into oxygen, like recycle it or something. So anyway, they're running out of oxygen, though.
Yeah, and the time jump from the 8 hours they were asleep or so to, skipping ahead a bit, is kind of drastic.
Well, Bendotti, he said, I can't get enough oxygen. He's already needing the oxygen. And then all of a sudden, a cougar breaks through the brush, but they didn't have to shoot it.
Because it's gasping.
Yep.
For breath.
And it dies.
Yeah, just straight up falls over and dies. And they're like, maybe we should get going, guys. You think we should get going, guys? We should get going, guys.
It's a majestic cougar. It's totally dead. Should we go? Should we? Yeah, we should go. Let's get out of here, Tsubu suggests. No way. Let's see here. Bendotti stops her. I think, doesn't he give her his oxygen? Or no, okay, essentially they're kind of
not quite at that point yet.
They're kind of deciding at this point how to get back, but the whole thing is that they're concerned about oxygen and they need somebody to just go, like somebody who's fast, fleet-foot, who can get there. So this kind of goes on. It wasn't a dream. Cadmir, who they wind up sending. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jareem basically becomes the guy who they're essentially hoping will get back to base, because apparently they're quite a ways out.
Run, skinny boy, run.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, they're still sort of scouting here. Bendotti sent Luther up another tree. Apparently, Luther's the tree monkey of the story.
Or maybe his pack started to work magically, and they just didn't talk about it.
Well, their comm links aren't working at this point. And so now, to everyone's surprise, Bendotti pulled off his oxygen pack and tossed it to Jareem. Run on, he ordered. He sniffed and crinkles his nose in disgust. Run on. One of us has to get back and warn them. This is where it gets a little odd, and you actually brought this up before we started the recording here.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to pick it apart.
I'm confused by this bit of writing. Like, I kind of get it, but I sort of had to do a double take. I was like, I don't really understand exactly what happened.
Yeah, let's just read this word for word and see if it just comes to us finally.
Okay. So Dream stood down, dumbfounded, as did Luther and Tiobo. Go, Bendotti insisted, and even as Dream started to argue, the older man turned and sprinted into the bush, disappearing from sight, though the others heard his subsequent hacking coughs. He's gone crazy, Luther cried. Barely got to the edge of the brush, though, before a blaster rang out and Luther tumbled backward, shot through the chest. Go, Bendotti called from somewhere beyond. So Bendotti's basically running through the jungle. We need a little CCR going on here. Run through the jungle
and shoot my friends.
Yeah, so he just shoots Luther, and I'm not understanding why exactly he just shot him. Oh, but he went crazy. He just said that in the last line.
No one else has gone crazy. No one.
Well,
okay,
no.
Let me
now,
hold on.
rewind.
No one else goes crazy.
They are still in there. The others are still in their suits.
I'm jumping ahead, but no one else goes crazy.
So Luther's dead.
Yep.
He's dead.
And Bendotti is clearly about to die because he took his mask off. So.
Yeah. So Tiobo took the oxygen pack, grabbed the stunned and seemingly frozen Dream by the arm, and hauled him after breaking into a dead run. And then they heard another shot and knew that Bendotti, too, was dead. So apparently he kills himself. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a tiger that was going to... Or a cougar. Could be a cougar. Even though the cougars are all dying.
Maybe he's not dead. Maybe we will hear...
Maybe he's going to kill all the U's involved where Luke can't.
Bendotti, the savior.
Bendotti showed up and saved Luke's...
I think he's dead.
White little
anyway.
butt.
So Tiobo and Jareem, they're running through the forest here, and then they stop. The Twi'lek didn't move. Do you need more oxygen? And then she tosses him her extra tank. Okay, so again, this is where I'm sort of getting a little hazy here.
Do they pick up Luther's?
Yeah,
they
she
do pick up Luther's. Okay.
So they have an extra tank.
They both have 2 tanks at this point.
And so, again, this is where I'm starting to lose a little bit here. So she says, run. I've been slowing you down for the last hour. So they've been running for an hour, right? Okay, whatever. They're scientists. But no, just kidding. You're our only hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Then she took off her belt patch.
I'm sorry.
Her belt
I don't know why I
pouch.
called you that.
Yeah. The one with the beetle, and they did collect a beetle, and tossed it to the stunt. So she gives him the samples. I'm not leaving you, Jerem declared. I can't talk today. He has the extra tank and a little beetle, and then Tiobo just points her blaster at him. Go. Let's see. One of us has to continue with the remaining tanks. You're faster. You're better trained. And then, she just takes off her mask.
Yeah.
And basically instantly catches rabies and dies.
Yeah. No, she kills herself.
Does she? Oh,
Report of a blaster behind him. Yeah. As he's running, he hears a blaster.
Did he?
Yep.
So immediately her eyes turned reddish yellow and foamy liquid began running from her nose. So there was that part.
Yep. Keep going down.
Oh, okay, he did. So she shot herself too. Interesting. So maybe that's going crazy.
But she didn't shoot Jerem. Why didn't she shoot Jerem?
So anyway, I don't understand. They obviously have their own oxygen tanks and an extra tank. I just thought it was kind of silly. So finally, Jerem's running through here, and that's kind of where we stop for a second because we're going to go into another point of view.
Another thing for us to pick at.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Excuse me. So we are now in the ship, the little ship containing Danny
Oh no!
Quee.
Well, let's just mention one more thing. They were saying how can't use the jetpacks, man.
Good,
There's no oxygen. Because that's what we would use to power our jetpacks is oxygen with the fuel.
Yeah, so
We wouldn't find a fuel source that doesn't need oxygen.
Jerem goes to use his pack, but he can't use it because he says it needs oxygen. I was just really kind of flabbergasted by that.
So we're using a combustion engine as a jetpack then.
I don't.
That's what that means.
Even
though there's motorized jetpacks.
That seemed a little odd, so he can't fly right now. Yeah. Let's move on.
But then he sticks one of his oxygen tanks into the jetpack, and then he flies off.
Oh, is that what it says? Is that in there?
Oh, you know what? That might be a little further ahead. I might be jumping ahead.
Well,
I think I am.
I just think it's silly that they need oxygen to run it. But anyway, who cares? Who cares what I think? Let's go on to Danny.
No, he does. He does.
Okay.
Climbing above the treetops and soaring on, he did come down and hard when his pack ran out of fuel. He crashed through the branches and tumbled to the thick vegetation, losing his blaster in the process. Of course.
That's right, yeah.
Why did he have his blaster out?
Dude,
Everything around him is dying. He didn't need his blaster, but he had to have it out so he could lose it.
Who knows?
So he couldn't defend himself. Foreshadowing.
True enough.
Anyway, let's just jump on to the Helska system here.
Yep. So they're the other group of scientists are going to the little ice planet that was supposedly struck, quote, by a comet, and they're going to investigate. So we have Danny Quee, Benson Tomry, and Cho Badleg. Badeleg.
Bad leg. No, it's bad leg.
It's French.
Let's just go with bad leg.
I'm going to say bad leg.
All right, it won't matter much longer, so let's just go with bad leg.
Foreshadowing. Let's see here. I don't want to get too much. Some of this is kind of a little boring, I guess. But I mean, they're just kind of talking about the comet a little bit. But they do
Call it in.
Well, yeah.
Try to.
They start to notice debris,
Yeah.
and they just think it's debris. What is it? What's the debris?
Looks like debris. Must be debris.
Until it starts going into a flying formation.
Debris does that. It's space. Gravity is
Space maneuverable debris. Degree.
Deodorant, guys. It's just big old sticks of deodorant floating in space in a formation.
I'm on little sleep. But anyway, they're attacked. They're attacked by the quote little meteors here, and these are coral skippers.
Yep.
These are Yuuzhan Vong little attack ships. And
they're TIE fighters for the Yuuzhan Vong guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're equivalent of a TIE fighter.
But these
I wonder
are
if they make the noise of a TIE fighter or a distinguished
That's interesting.
noise.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, these things are like getting on the ship. They're melting it. They're trying to hit the hyperdrive, to get them out of here, and they can't. The Yuuzhan Vong have basically disabled the ship. And then
They shoot a big old glob at it.
big old glob, which is a Villip. They have the Villip, and this is Dagara speaking. Let's see. Good, you have come, Danny Quee, Benson Tomriel, and Cho Badleg. So he knows them all.
My name isn't Badleg.
It's Badleg. I, Dagara, he went on, prefect and advisor to Yamosk, war coordinator of Praetoriat Vong. Welcome, my home. So this is another thing.
He does, guys. It's not him just going crazy. He actually does go, off.
Yeah, that's literally written in there. So they're a little stunned by the appearance because they're giving him the true appearance, the scarred, tattooed, true Yuuzhan Vong form here. You see my home, I believe. You come me there, I show you splendor, Yuuzhan Vong. What? What did you say?
Did you just speak English? Is this English?
Yeah. But basically, Dagara is wanting them to come down to the planet. He knows them all. How does he know them all? How could he know our names?
Mind reading, Philip.
Little Yamankar intel.
Mind reading, Philip.
Fine. They do kind of consider fighting this, though. They're still trying to think about getting away. Dagara does say, choice none. His grammar is great. You follow Coral Skippers in now, or you melt and we take from your honor of gift to Yan Yamka. So Oh, God.
No, that one actually isn't in there, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not in there. But essentially, they're knocked out here. They've been taken captive. And back to the other people.
Hold on.
Nope.
Danny does put up a fight.
Well, she does.
She shoots the Philip,
Hell.
and then everything goes black.
Oh, yeah. Kill that Philip.
Darkness fell.
Darn.
And still Jerem.
Darkness fell across the land.
And yet still Jerem Cadmere ran on, stumbling in the blackness.
So he's still running, wondering if he ran right past the compound. He does wind up finding the compound, though. Good for him. And
He had one job, so good job.
who does he meet? Our good buddy, Yamankar.
I was going to throw out another name, but I don't remember any of their names.
So Yaman asks, where are the rest of them? Dead, all of them. We found the storm, but it wasn't a storm. Some kind of plague, a biological disaster. It overran us. But you escaped. They gave me their oxygen. And he began to tremble. Oh, and then Yamankar shook him. Get a hold of yourself, man.
A plague, you say?
Oh, yeah, plague you say.
We can insulate, Jerem said.
Yeah. Let's jump just a little bit here, because I want to get to the cool part.
Yeah.
So Yamankar yanked Jaren about and slammed him hard into a tree. Jerem, I'm just reading whatever I want to now, held there motionless, stared at the larger and suddenly imposing man in sheer disbelief. I could let you go to them. I could scramble into the compound beside you, yelling frantically that we must get the Jolian freighter up in the air. You don't understand, Jerem said. The plague advances at a tremendous rate. It'll be here in a matter of hours. Within 3, to be more precise.
Ooh. He's doing the thing again.
Yeah, the gases will overwhelm the compound within 3 hours and all the planet in 2 days. Sooner, if favorable weather allows the atmospheric levels to hit critical mass. Favorable weather? How do you know? Let's see. So Yamankar reaches a finger up beside his nose and tapped the sensitive area of the Ugalith Maskir.
It's a weird place to have the sensitive area.
Just a sensitive area.
It'd be really easy to be touched. Like if someone just punches you. Oh, there goes my mask.
Oh, my mask! Signaling the creature to peel away. The Yuuzhan Vong warrior stood perfectly still, revealing in the exquisite tingles of agony. God, what a weird. So the Maskir falls away. I could take you back there and wait with you and all the others for your doom to fall. For, of course, I've disabled the freighter beyond repair. Not that you would have been able to get the rusted thing off the ground in any case. I could let you battle valiantly against the transformation, which you call a plague, and let you die dishonorably at no warrior's hands, but simply from lack of oxygen. But I feel I owe you this out of respect for your perseverance and resourcefulness in getting all the way back here. So Yaman's again, the Yuuzhan Vong have this weird honor code system about death and dying and killing you honorably. And he kind of sees Jiram as he was resourceful. Mm-hmm. He was able to get back. He deserves an honorable death. So...
Do you understand the honor I offer you now? I offer you a warrior's death.
Yeah.
But I'm not a warrior. I don't want it. Tough. You take it anyway.
Yep, and then he shatters his neck bone.
Snapped it.
Dead. Oh.
But he liked it. Let's just jump ahead a little.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. He said it wasn't just simply out of respect or not because the man deserved the warrior's death, but also because he wanted to. He enjoyed it.
It's been too long.
It's been too long since I killed somebody. Snapped a neck bone.
That guy
Oh, yeah.
onto the ground and probably crushed a couple of my beetles.
It's only been a few days since I killed somebody, so.
And I didn't crush any of my beetles this time.
Exactly.
So I did better.
So there we go. Now back to Danny. First, she thought she was dead.
That's... How can you think you're dead? It's funny when you think about it.
It's a movie trope. I mean, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dying, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm totally dead.
I'm able to think this as I'm dead.
Well, man, who knows?
I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of movie, gun, and gaming sim videos lately, so I like to pick out stuff.
Apparently.
I just got the little bing in my head every time I hear something that doesn't make sense.
For sure.
Counter goes up, counter goes up.
Nothing wrong. So, right shoulder's dislocated. Both of her arms are held out straight. She's being held. She heard a gurgled cry.
Oh, that gets better.
Recognizing the voice of Benson Tomrill, forced her eyes open. How exactly did they kill him?
They jammed their fist down his throat. No, I'm sorry. They put their hand down his throat and then make a fist and then pull it back out or something like that.
Fantastic. Yeah, so he's dead.
Great way to die. And it's funny how they confirm he's dead. It's like the Warriors let go and Benson fell limp. Too limp. And Danny knew that he was dead.
Too limp.
There's a amount of limpness that I accept.
Apparently.
And you're beyond that. You must be dead.
There you go. So Dagar does speak to Danny here a little bit. Yaman Kar demand respect for Danny Kui. Do you understand?
Understand. Because we can't just say words here.
Yeah, you understand the honor. She's still thinking, trying to sort of fight through this. Dagar slaps her across the face. Do not dishonor Yaman Kar's request. Show courage, or I put you out to die in the empty earth, sir. So here's the thing. They want you to face death without fear. So even at this point, trying to fight it is kind of... It's useless. You're at their mercy, so stop fighting. Face it with honor and dignity, or so they say. And let them kill you. Let me kill you. Stop. I'm going to throw you out.
It's honorable for you to let me kill you.
However, he does have a little change of heart here because he's not going to kill her today. He wants her to watch.
Like see Galaxy die?
Yeah. You like to see Galaxy die?
Do that I can for you.
Do that I can.
That almost does sound like a Yoda line. You like
kind
see
of.
Galaxy die?
Well, the thing is, and they had this conversation the last time when Carr was talking to the prefect, because the prefect said, do you think she could be turned, converted?
Yeah.
So I think he wants to try and have her, converted.
Yeah, he hasn't given up on that. It's pretty clear.
So Danny's still alive at this point. And what was this last part? They shoved her in a hole down the tubular worm into the water depths below, which I assume is just down in the in the middle of the planet. Yeah. And then he jumps in after. It's good. Get a little dislocated shoulder. You're gonna live to see the world end. And now we're
face
gonna
hugger is just gonna ram its tentacle down your throat and grab onto your lungs or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. The little breathing apparatus. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of our chapter here. Not too really, honestly, not too bad on time. We're still really at that hour mark. So
yeah, good chapter.
It's the first,
not the beefiest, but still a good chapter.
It's the first taste of kind of more action. And, table setting is great. It's kind of like the first movie in a trilogy. It's good, but sometimes you need a little bit more beef. So,
where's the meat?
yeah. God, how many people understand that reference anymore?
Not enough.
But anyway, yeah, good chapter. Good overall chapter. Definitely looking forward to our next chapter.
Oh, it's a slow one. I mean, it's not slow. It's just not what I wanted.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we won't.
Listen, we have
that.
19 books in this series. There's going to be a
Not
lot of
gonna
ups
like
and
every
downs.
chapter.
No.
You
Not
imagine
gonna-
we're just going to jump back into slow chapters again and be like, and we're off. Yeah.
Well, it'll heat up as the books go along. Again, Vector Prime is the first book in the series, so you are going to have that element of table setting, that element of backstory, the element of setting up what is to come for a long book series, and we are just starting it out with you here, 2.5 months in, just plugging away. So we appreciate you guys. Yeah, we appreciate you guys sticking with us. And again, if you have any questions or comments, anything you'd like to add to the reread here, make sure to hit us up either on Facebook at the Contingency Plan Podcast, at Facebook, or you can hit us up at the TC Plan Podcast at gmail.com email address.
Nailed it.
Yeah, getting better. And if you'd like to support the channel, again, Patreon is out there as well. We are actually going to probably head out for some food, record that real quick, and then get on to our next recording so we can get a little bit of ahead of the game here.
Little Caesars.
Hey man, whatever
Little
you want
Caesars. No, I don't want Little Caesars.
Whatever you want.
We got to do fast food, but not Little Caesars.
Fast
Not
food.
yet. That's scraping the bottom of the barrel right there.
Hey, every now and again, I'm cool with going and getting a little hot
I am
cheese.
too, but it's
not
still-
not their pepperoni. I'm
But
good
are
on
you
that.
proud when you do it? No. You're just enjoying yourself.
Yeah, it's good the first day.
Of course, we did Taco Bell for our first one, so I guess we can't really.
Hey, they got a new $5 box.
We can't do Taco Bell every time, but we could probably do Taco Bell every time with the $5 box.
Yeah. But anyway, folks, glad you guys are sticking around. Hopefully you enjoy the podcast, and we're going to continue trucking along. But again, appreciate you guys stopping by.
Yep, and as always, may the Force be with you.